Dearly beloved in Jesus Christ, in the first reading, the author compares gold to dust and silver to mere clay. The Gospel explains the vanity of the riches. The young man in the Gospel narration could not enter heaven even after the perfect observance of the law from his childhood. Hence, today's liturgy of the word tells, mere meticulous following of the law alone may not avail any good. Therefore, going beyond the law is demanded from us. Once there was a missionary who was sent by his superior to a remote area for buying a piece of land for their new missionary endeavors. After a brief inquiry, he purchased a piece of land. The next day, he traveled near and far from the area, met a few missionaries of other congregations, gathered information about the possible missionary activities. He then met some local farmers and inquired about the climatic and weather conditions. Next, he gathered some knowledge about the transport facilities, and then finally he found a house for them to stay until their own mission station is built. When he reached the headquarters, his superior appointed him in that new mission station, for he said, "He is the apt person because he had done more than that he is told to do." On the contrary to this attitude, the young man in the Gospel lost favor in the sight of God because he did just what was commanded in the law. Hence, doing what is prescribed by the church, we become loyal Christians or law-abiding Christians. But we are told to go beyond what is commanded to become jealous Christians, imitating Christ, who always took one step more than what is prescribed in the law. For Jews, especially religious leaders of Jesus' time, law is all in all, which means for them perfect observance of the law is enough to enter the kingdom of heaven. For example, circumcision. Circumcision is prescribed in the law of Moses, saying every male child should be circumcised to enter heaven. And they have perfectly followed this law, and they believed they would enter heaven even if their character is not so good. So, for Jews and the religious leaders of those days, perfect observance of the law as it is given will suffice everything. But contrary to this teaching, Jesus went one step ahead when he said, "Sell everything that you have and follow me." Remember, Jesus told, "If anyone asks you to walk 1 mile with him, walk 2 miles with him. Take one more step than asked, and then your reward will be great." In another portion of the Gospel, he also mentioned, "Consider yourself as unworthy servant, as the servant who served his master at the table. For the master told, he did what he was supposed to do, and not more than that." And he went on saying, "He does not deserve any appreciation." We will also fall into the same line when we just limit ourselves for the meticulous following of the church law. But if we want to be rewarded more, Go one step ahead, imitating Christ in everything that you do. Secondly, when we clearly observe the reading, we will also notice another truth of human life. The truth is, it is easy to follow the law, be a good man, be a good Catholic, be a good follower of Christ, as long as everything is at your disposal. In other words, when you have enough money to take care of yourself, when you have a good house to live in, when you have a good car to travel, and when people around you are good with you, then it is easy to become good and law-abiding Christian. But when all these things are removed, sometimes we find very difficult to be a faith-living person. Sometimes well-to-do people, even sometimes the clergy, accuse the poor people for not attending Sunday sermon, for not being part of any prayer service, or even sometimes for not contributing for the common fund of the community. But here I tell you, get into the shoe of a poor man. You will know the threshold of their basic needs. In gist, when you don't have the basic needs, it is very difficult to follow the law, very difficult to be good, very difficult to come to the church and pray with empty stomach. The young man in today's gospel is following the perfect law as long as all the riches were with him, because everything was at his disposal. But the moment he was asked to sell out everything, empty himself and follow, he abandoned God and lost the kingdom. This is the fact of life. Remember Job. When he had everything at his disposal, he was a very faithful, law-abiding person. And even after everything is taken away, when the sickness is given to him, when everybody is away from him, still he followed God. Can we also become Job of this modern time? Or we abandon God when everything that we have is taken away? A question to be pondered about. In conclusion, today's liturgy of the word teaches us two important notions. The first one, it is not enough to become mere meticulous following of the law alone, but we are told to go beyond the law. And the second one, it is easy to be a good Christian as long as everything is at our disposal. Try the opposite and see whether we can become real Christians even in hard times. Let God bless us all.